Hey, I'm reading from Proverbs 26, verses 13 through 16. The lazy man says, "There is a lion in the road, a fierce lion is in the streets." As a door turns on its hinges, so does the lazy man on his bed. The lazy man buries his hand in the bowl. It wearies him to bring it back to his mouth. The lazy man is wiser in his own eyes than 7 men who can answer sensibly. Laziness is not really an inherent character trait. It's more of a behavior or a pattern of behaviors than anything that's really inherent to a person. There are a lot of reasons that a person might fail to act. And I can look back on my own life, and there are many instances where I had a to-do list or goals, and I failed to act for whatever reason. There could be long periods of time where I had the opportunity to do something. Just for whatever reason, I didn't. And I think that we all have those experiences at times. And this doesn't mean that you're necessarily a lazy person. It means that you are maybe exhibiting lazy behaviors. But the real key is to ask why. And this passage in Proverbs describes a number of things that might be going on with a person that could cause them to behave in a lazy manner. First off, the man says, there's a lion in the road. There's a fierce lion in the streets. He's afraid that if he goes out and if he tries to do something, something bad is going to happen to him. Whether it's really a lion or, he's afraid of failing, or he's afraid of being mocked, or, whatever the cause is, there's always something to be afraid of. And a lot of us are even afraid of success. There's a thing called Imposter Syndrome where you believe that you are not up to the task that you have. You're not qualified, or you see other people who are doing the same thing you are, and they seem so much more professional, they have higher credentials. They seem so much smarter. God put you where you are, and He's given you a job. God knows who you are. God knows what needs to be done. Whether you're afraid of negative consequences or positive, fear is really, it's a lack of faith. It's a lack of faith in God, and it could be a lack of faith in yourself. Of course, it always is to some extent. Maybe you're not in the right place. Maybe you doubt that the right thing is really within your grasp, within your capacity to accomplish. But you need to leave that up to God. That's not your thing to worry about. The next thing it says is, a door turns on its hinges, so does a lazy man on his bed. Comfort is a big issue for a lot of people. They don't want to be uncomfortable. They don't want to experience the pain, the drudgery of doing the work that it might take to accomplish something. And this is probably one of the hardest things to overcome. And this is as close as you can get to really having laziness as a part of your character. Says the lazy man buries his hand in the bowl. It wearies him to bring it back to his mouth. Now, this isn't what we would normally think of as laziness. This is extreme. And this really sounds like depression and a number of other health concerns that can manifest in a lack of motivation, exhaustion, extreme fatigue, the inability to just care about things. And there are resolutions to that. There are things that you can do to manage it, and in many cases there are things you can do to reverse it, to find that motivation. Let's see. The lazy man is wiser in his own eyes than 7 men who can answer sensibly. Sometimes we don't act because we think we know better. We mock the people who are getting things done, and maybe we feel entitled to having other people do our work for us. Like this work is beneath me. This should be done by somebody without my education, without my experience or my talents. And really, this is just pride. And that's a personal failing. It really is a character flaw. It's not laziness, but it's manifesting itself in a lack of action, which amounts to laziness. Not all of these things that cause a person to fail to act are are bad character. Pride, fear, valuing comfort too high, those can certainly extend from bad character, but there are other circumstances. Maybe somebody is afraid because they really don't have the qualifications, they don't have the experience. They can think of all kinds of things that are going to go wrong and very few things that could go right. But all of these things are addressable to one extent or another. Most of them can be fixed, and those that can't be just outright fixed can be managed. The first thing you need to do to defeat laziness in yourself is to identify the cause. Are you failing to act because you're afraid? Because you don't like the discomfort that comes with whatever needs to be done to reach your goal? Are you too proud to do what needs to be done? Most of these things come from inaccurate expectations. You don't really know what to expect from the world. You've been trained to see life as easy. Everything comes with an easy button. You want food, you can order it on the phone. You want clean clothes, you can get somebody else to do that. You can use the washing machine if you really have to, but even that's so much work. Kidding. So identify what is causing you to be inactive, and don't just write it off to innate laziness. It's not necessarily the case. There's a reason you're not acting. You need to find out what that reason is and address it. If you need to see a doctor, see a doctor. And don't be satisfied with, oh, well, there's nothing we can do. This is just the way you are. Don't take that. There's always something you can do. Adjust your expectations. Find wisdom. You're not going to find wisdom in a book, in front of the television, or in a classroom. You're going to find it out in the world. Get real life experiences. The more experiences you have doing things, the more you're going to understand what it takes to do things, and the less you're going to be afraid of it. So this is Jake Harper from American Torah. Get out in the world and be blessed.